The house that never lets you leave. What if you walked into a house, and the house decided you were never leaving? There are places in this world that don't appear on maps. Not because they are hidden, but because they don't want to be found. Places that don't follow rules. Places that don't belong to time. And once you enter, you don't really leave. Daniel Carter never believed in any of this. He believed in logic, in reason, in things that could be explained. To him, ghost stories were nothing but imagination. Haunted places were just abandoned structures filled with fear created by the human mind. So when he found the listing, he didn't hesitate. The house was located far from the city, somewhere deep in the countryside. The price was unusually low, almost suspiciously low. No previous owner history, no neighbors, no proper description, just one line, not recommended for long stays. Daniel laughed when he read it. Perfect, he said to himself. Exactly my kind of place. 3 days later, he was driving toward it. The road was empty, not just quiet, empty. The kind of empty that feels unnatural. Trees stood on both sides, completely still. No wind, no rustling leaves, no birds. Even the sky felt dull, like it had been drained of color. Daniel checked his phone. No signal. His GPS had stopped working a few minutes ago. Great, he muttered. Of course. But then, he saw it. The house, standing alone at the end of a narrow dirt path. Old, silent, watching. Daniel parked his car and stepped out. The moment his feet touched the ground, he felt it. A strange heaviness. Not fear, not yet, but something close, like the air itself didn't want him there. He ignored it, grabbed his bag, and walked toward the house. The front door was slightly open, moving just a little, without wind. Daniel stopped for a second, then smirked. Creepy, but manageable. He pushed the door open. Hello, he called. No answer. He stepped inside, and the door slammed shut behind him. Hard, too hard. Daniel turned instantly. Okay. Not funny. He walked back and grabbed the handle. Pulled. Locked. He frowned. There's no lock. He tried again. Nothing. The door wouldn't move. He took a step back. This place is old, probably jammed. He convinced himself, then turned around and looked deeper into the house. The hallway stretched ahead, longer than it should, much longer. The walls were lined with old wooden frames, some empty, some with photos. Daniel walked closer. Every photo had faces scratched out, except one, a man standing in the corner, smiling. Daniel leaned in. Why leave just one face? Then, footsteps, upstairs, slow, dragging. Daniel froze. Hello. No response. The sound stopped. Then, a whisper, soft, barely audible. Stay. Daniel's heart skipped. He looked at the staircase. Dark, unnaturally dark. For a moment, he hesitated, then shook his head. Someone's probably inside. He started climbing. Each step creaked loudly, too loudly. The air grew colder, thicker. By the time he reached the top, his breath was visible. He looked up, and froze. The hallway above was impossible. It stretched endlessly. Doors on both sides, all closed, except one, at the very end, slightly open. Darkness inside, watching him. Daniel took a step forward. Then, behind him, a door creaked open. He turned quickly. One of the doors had opened. By itself. Inside, a figure stood, still, watching him. Daniel's breath tightened. Who's there? No answer. Then, another door opened. Then another. Then all of them. Inside each room, different people, standing, watching him, not moving, not blinking. You shouldn't have come. All voices at once. Daniel ran. He ran straight toward the last door, pushed it open, and slammed it shut behind him. Silence. Complete silence. Daniel turned slowly, and his blood ran cold. The walls were covered in photos. Hundreds of them. People. Different ages. Different times. All terrified. All trapped. Daniel stepped closer, his hands shaking. This doesn't make sense. He looked at one photo. A woman, her eyes wide, looking not at the camera, but behind it, at something worse. Daniel stepped back, then noticed something else. One frame, empty, clean, waiting. Daniel's heart started racing. No. Then, click. The door behind him locked. Daniel rushed to it, pulled. Nothing. He banged on it. Open. Open. Silence. Then, the photos moved. Daniel froze. Eyes blinking. Heads turning. Slowly. Every single person in those frames was now looking directly at him. No. No. This isn't real. Then, crack. One frame broke. A hand pressed from inside. Then another. Then many. You brought us back. The whispers echoed. The glass shattered. Figures stepped out. Twisted. Broken. Wrong. Walking toward him. Daniel screamed. And ran. Daniel didn't look back. He couldn't. The moment those figures stepped out of the frames, something inside him broke. This was not imagination. This was not explainable. This was real. Too real. He ran through the hallway. His footsteps echoed loudly. But something was wrong. The hallway. It wasn't the same. The doors were gone. The walls stretched longer. Darker. Endless. No. No. Where are the stairs? He turned. Behind him. They were coming. Slow. Dragging. Smiling. Daniel ran faster. His breath heavy. His heart pounding. Then suddenly, the staircase appeared, right in front of him. Like it had always been there. He didn't question it. He ran down, almost slipping, falling, crashing into the bottom. He got up, ran toward the main door, grabbed the handle, pulled. It opened. Bright light flooded in. Daniel didn't stop. He ran outside, collapsed on the ground, gasping. Air. Fresh air. Real air. I'm out, he whispered. For a moment, everything felt normal. The sky looked brighter. The wind returned. The trees moved again. Daniel laughed. A broken laugh. I made it. I actually made it. He slowly stood up, turned around. The house stood behind him. Silent. Still. Normal. No broken windows. No movement. No darkness. Like nothing had happened. Daniel shook his head. This place. I'm never coming back. He grabbed his bag, started walking toward his car. Then, he stopped. Something felt wrong. Again, he looked down, and froze. No shadow. His breath stopped. What? He moved his hand. Nothing. The sunlight was there, but his shadow was gone. No. No. This isn't happening. His breathing became uneven. Then, behind him, a voice. Soft. Familiar. You left too early. Daniel turned instantly. The house door was open. Slowly. On its own. Inside. Darkness. Watching him. Calling him. No. Daniel stepped back. I'm not going back. He turned and walked away. Fast. Then faster. Then running. But something was wrong. The road didn't change. The same trees. The same broken fence. The same path. Again. And again. And again. Daniel stopped, breathing heavily. I've been here. He turned. The house was still there. Closer. Closer than before. That's not possible. He ran in another direction. Same result. The house remained, always behind him, always watching. The sky dimmed. The world felt fake. Like it wasn't real anymore. You don't leave. The whisper came from everywhere. Daniel covered his ears. Stop. The ground beneath him trembled. The trees shifted. And suddenly, he was back, standing in front of the house. Exactly where he started. The door, wide open, waiting. No. Daniel whispered. I escaped. I know I escaped. Then, he saw it, in the window, his reflection, standing inside, smiling. Daniel stepped back. That's not me. The reflection raised its hand. Tapped the glass. From inside. Come back. Daniel shook his head. This isn't real. This isn't real. But his body didn't listen. His feet moved, step by step, toward the house. Against his will, he tried to stop, but something invisible was pulling him. Stronger. Closer. The door opened wider, welcoming him. Daniel reached the entrance. His hand lifted, touched the door, and pushed it open. Darkness swallowed him again. The moment he stepped inside, the door disappeared. Gone. In its place, a wall, like it never existed. Daniel turned slowly. No. 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 The hallway was different now. Darker. Heavier. Then, a door appeared, right in front of him. Old. Scratched. And carved into it. Don't open. Daniel stared at it, his breathing slow, unsteady. This is a trap. Then, From inside, a voice. Weak. Broken. Help. Me. Daniel froze. That voice. It was his. Daniel's heart started pounding violently. That voice. It was his. Exactly his. Same tone. Same fear. Same desperation. Help. Me. The voice came again. From inside the door. Daniel stepped back. No. This is not real. Daniel. Please. Don't leave me. His breath stopped. That's me. His hand trembled. He knew he shouldn't open it. Every instinct screamed, don't open the door. But something else, something deeper, pulled him closer. Maybe someone is trapped. Maybe it's not me. He reached the handle. No, I shouldn't. Then the voice changed. Calm, cold. Open it. Daniel's hand moved. Against his will, the door creaked open. Just a little. Darkness inside. Complete darkness. Then, eyes. Watching him. Daniel tried to pull back. But suddenly, a hand shot out. Cold. Strong. It grabbed his wrist. Daniel screamed. Let go. He pulled back with all his strength. Fell to the floor. The door slammed shut. Silence. Daniel crawled backward. Breathing heavily. Sweating. Shaking. What was that? Then, the words on the door began to change. Slowly. Scratching. Rewriting themselves. You opened it. Daniel's blood ran cold. No. The door disappeared. Gone. Like it was never there. The hallway returned. Long. Dark. Endless. Daniel slowly stood up. Then, he felt it. Something behind him. Watching. He turned. And froze. His shadow. On the floor. But it wasn't flat anymore. It wasn't normal. It stood. Looking up at him. And smiling. No. No. The shadow moved. Not like a shadow. Like a person. It lifted. Off the ground. Forming shape. His shape. Same height. Same outline. Same him. But darker. Empty. Wrong. You opened the door. It spoke. Without a mouth. Daniel stepped back. I didn't mean to. The shadow tilted its head. You always do. Daniel turned and ran. But the hallway changed again. The floor felt soft. Like it was breathing. The walls pulsed. Like a heartbeat. Daniel stumbled. Fell to his knees. What is this place? Then, a sound. From below. Deep. Hollow. Like something calling from underground. Daniel looked down. The floor was cracking. Thin lines spreading beneath him. No. Then, it broke. Daniel fell. Into darkness. He hit the ground hard. Cold. Wet. For a moment, he couldn't breathe. Then slowly, he looked up. He was in a basement. But not a normal one. The walls were made of stone. Old. Rotting. Covered in deep scratch marks. Chains hung from the ceiling. Rusty. Heavy. And the smell. Rot. Decay. Something dead. Daniel stood up slowly. This place is wrong. Then, a voice. From the corner. You're finally here. Daniel turned. And froze. A figure sat there. Still. Watching him. Daniel stepped closer. Who are you? The figure lifted its head. And Daniel's world shattered. It was him. Older. Weaker. Broken. Eyes hollow. Skin pale. You took too long. Daniel stepped back. No. No. That's not possible. The older version smiled. A tired, hopeless smile. This is how it always starts. What is this place? Daniel shouted. The older version looked at him. Calm. This house. A pause. It doesn't trap bodies. Daniel's breath slowed. Then what does it trap? The answer came slowly. It traps time. Daniel froze. What? You're not the first you. Silence. You're just the next. Daniel shook his head. No. I just came here. The older version laughed. No. You've been here, again and again. Daniel's mind started breaking. That's not true. The older version leaned closer. Then why do I remember everything, and you don't? Daniel couldn't answer. Then, behind him, a presence. He turned. The shadow. Standing there. Watching both of them. Waiting. You opened the door. And this time, it sounded like both of them. Daniel couldn't think. His mind had stopped working the way it used to. In front of him stood his older self. Broken. Empty. Like something had drained everything from him. And behind him, the shadow. Waiting. Watching. This isn't possible, Daniel whispered. The older version let out a weak laugh. That's what I said too. Daniel shook his head. No. I came here today. I've never been here before. The older version slowly stood up. Chains around him rattled, but they weren't holding him. They were just hanging, like they had been used. A long time ago. You think time moves normally here? He asked quietly. Daniel stayed silent. It doesn't, the older version continued. This house doesn't follow time. It controls it. Daniel's breathing became uneven. What does that even mean? The older version stepped closer. It means, every time you try to escape. A pause. The house lets you. Daniel's eyes widened, but only for a moment. The shadow behind him shifted. Then it pulls you back. Daniel stepped back. No. I got out. I saw the sky. I felt the air. The older version nodded slowly. Yes, because it needed you to believe you escaped. Silence filled the basement. Heavy. Crushing. Daniel's voice trembled. Why would it do that? The older version looked at him. Because hope keeps you moving. And movement, he looked toward the shadow, keeps you alive. Daniel slowly turned. The shadow was closer now. Its shape clearer, more human. Then, it smiled. You stay alive long enough. It whispered. To become me. Daniel's heart pounded. No. No. He turned to run. But the basement started changing. The walls cracked. The floor shifted. The chains began moving. Not falling. Moving. Like something was pulling them. Then, a loud crack. The ground beneath him broke. Again. Daniel fell. Darkness swallowed him. He hit something hard. Opened his eyes. He was back. In the hallway. Upstairs. Exactly where he had been before. The same doors. The same silence. The same endless corridor. No. He stood up slowly. This is not happening. Then, a sound. Behind him. Footsteps. He turned. And froze. Another Daniel. Standing there. Confused. Breathing heavily. Looking around. Hello. The new Daniel said. Daniel stepped back. That's me. The new Daniel looked at him. Hey. Do you live here? Daniel tried to speak. But no words came out. His voice was gone. His body wouldn't respond. What's wrong with you? The new Daniel asked. Then, the shadow moved. Past Daniel. Toward the new one. Daniel's heart sank. No. Don't go. But he couldn't say it. The shadow stopped next to the new Daniel. Smiled. I've been waiting for you. The new Daniel frowned. Do I know you? The shadow tilted its head. You will. Daniel watched. Helpless. The new Daniel turned toward the house. This place feels weird. The shadow nodded. It always does. Daniel's mind broke further. It's repeating. Then, he felt something strange. His hands fading. His body becoming lighter. Transparent. No. No. What's happening to me? The shadow looked back at him. And smiled wider. Your turn is over. Daniel tried to move. But he couldn't. His legs disappeared. His arms faded. He looked down. His body was gone. Only darkness remained. Flat. Still. A shadow. No. The new Daniel stepped toward the door. Just like before. The shadow followed. Just like before. And Daniel could only watch. As the door opened. As the new version entered. As the cycle began again. Daniel couldn't feel his body anymore. Because he didn't have one. He existed. As a shadow. Flat. Silent. Attached to the ground in front of the house. At first, he didn't understand what had happened. I'm still here. But he wasn't. Not really. He tried to move. Nothing. He tried to scream. Silence. Only awareness remained. And the house. Standing in front of him. Watching. Time passed. Or maybe, it didn't. The sky changed. Light turned to dark. Dark turned to light. But something felt wrong. It didn't feel like time was moving. It felt like time was repeating. Then, the door opened. Another person arrived. A man. Confused. Unaware. Just like Daniel once was. Hello. The man called. Daniel wanted to scream. Don't go inside. But he couldn't. He was just a shadow. The man stepped closer. The door opened wider. Welcoming him. Waiting. The man entered. The door closed. Silence. Daniel felt something. Fear. Because he knew what was coming. Inside. The same thing repeated. The hallway. The doors. The whispers. The trap. Then, a scream. Echoing. Fading. Gone. And after some time, the door opened again. A man walked out, calm, normal, smiling. But Daniel knew the truth. That wasn't him. That was the house, wearing his face, walking into the world, while the real one stayed inside, trapped. The cycle repeated, again, and again, and again. Different people, same ending. Daniel watched everything, every mistake, every scream, every replacement, and every time, he understood more. This house didn't just trap people, it replaced them, and used them. Then, one day, something changed. A car stopped outside. Different. Daniel felt it immediately. This time was not the same. A woman stepped out. She looked around, but she didn't look confused. She didn't look scared. She looked calm. That was wrong. Very wrong. The house reacted. The door opened instantly, wider than before, like it was hungry. Daniel felt something new. Fear. Real fear. Don't go. But again, no voice. The woman stepped closer. She stopped, looked at the house, then smiled. I remember this place. Daniel froze. What? She walked forward, slowly, confident, like she had done this before. The door didn't wait. It opened fully. She stepped inside, and for the first time, the house didn't stay calm. It reacted, violently. The walls inside shifted. The windows cracked. The ground trembled. Daniel felt it. The entire structure was unstable. Then, something impossible happened. The woman looked back, directly at him, at the shadow. Daniel's mind exploded. She can see me. She smiled. You're not supposed to remember. Daniel tried to respond, but nothing came out. She stepped closer to the doorway. The house trembled harder. I've been here before, she said. Daniel froze. And I left. Impossible. No one leaves. Daniel felt something change. For the first time, hope. Then, she raised her hand, and reached toward him, toward the shadow. And suddenly, Daniel felt something. Movement. Real movement. His shadow stretched, pulled upward, breaking, separating. Pain. Then, light. And everything went blank. Daniel opened his eyes. For the first time in what felt like forever. He could breathe. Air filled his lungs. Real air. He coughed, hard, fell forward onto the ground. His hands, solid. His body, back. I'm alive. His voice came out broken, weak, but real. Daniel pushed himself up slowly, his entire body shaking. He looked around. Empty land. No house. No door. Nothing. Just dry ground. Silence. The house was gone. Completely gone. Daniel stood there, confused, terrified. What happened? His mind tried to catch up. The hallway, the doors, the shadow, the loop, and the woman. She did something. He turned around. No sign of her. No footprints. No sound. Just emptiness. Daniel took a step forward. Then another. His legs felt weak, but he was moving. Free. For the first time. Or at least, it felt like it. He walked toward the road. The same road. But this time, it changed. The trees moved. The wind returned. Sound came back. Everything felt real. Daniel almost laughed. I got out. But something still felt wrong. He stopped. Looked down. His shadow. It was there. Normal. Following him. Daniel let out a breath. Okay. I'm fine. He kept walking. The road finally led somewhere. After a few minutes, he saw it. A small gas station. Lights on. People inside. Normal life. Daniel rushed toward it. The bell rang as he entered. A man behind the counter looked up. You all right, buddy? Daniel nodded quickly. Yeah. I just got lost. The man frowned. Out there. Daniel nodded again. There's nothing out there. Daniel forced a smile. I found a house. The man's expression changed. What house? Daniel turned, pointed outside. There. But there was nothing. Just road. Empty land. Daniel's stomach dropped. It was right there. The man shook his head. You must have imagined it. Daniel didn't answer. Because deep down, he knew. He didn't imagine it. He lived it. He barely escaped it. Daniel left the store, got into his car, started driving. Miles passed. The world returned to normal. Traffic, buildings, people, everything felt safe again. Daniel reached home. unlocked the door, stepped inside. Silence. Familiar silence. He dropped his keys, sat down, still shaking. "It's over," he whispered. Then, he heard it, a sound, soft, from behind him. Daniel froze. Slowly, he turned. Nothing. Empty room. He let out a breath. Just my imagination. Then, he looked at the mirror. And his heart stopped. His reflection was smiling. He wasn't. Daniel stepped back. "What?" The reflection tilted its head. Slowly. Then, it spoke, without moving its mouth. "You still don't understand." Daniel stumbled backward. "No." The reflection's smile widened. "You didn't leave." The lights flickered. The room darkened. Then, for a split second, behind him, in the mirror, he saw it, the house, standing, waiting, and something inside it, watching him. Daniel didn't move. He couldn't. His eyes were locked on the mirror. His reflection was still smiling, but he wasn't. "What is happening to me?" The room felt colder. The air, heavy again, just like the house. "No. I left. I escaped." The reflection slowly raised its hand. Daniel didn't. It touched the mirror. From inside. "You never left." Daniel stepped back. "No. That's not true." The reflection's smile grew wider. "You just changed places." Daniel's breathing became fast, uncontrolled. "What do you mean?" The reflection leaned closer. Its eyes, empty, dark. "Look behind you." Daniel shook his head. "I'm not turning." "Look." The voice was stronger now. Commanding. Daniel slowly turned. The hallway of his house was gone. In its place, a long corridor, dark, endless, exactly like the one inside the house. "No." Daniel stepped back. The walls around him changed, cracked, old, rotting. "This isn't my home." Then, footsteps from the corridor, slow, dragging. Daniel froze. "Who's there?" No answer. Only footsteps, getting closer. Then, a voice, soft, familiar. Daniel, his heart stopped. That voice was his. Again. "No. No." The footsteps stopped. At the end of the hallway, a figure stood there, in the darkness, watching. Daniel's breath slowed. Then, the figure stepped forward, into the light. Daniel's world collapsed. It was him. Same face, same body, same him, but smiling. "You made it out." Daniel shook his head. "No. I'm right here." The other version tilted its head. "No. I am." Daniel stepped back. "This isn't real." The other version walked closer. Each step calm, controlled. "You don't understand yet." Daniel's voice cracked. "Understand what?" The other version stopped, right in front of him, and whispered, "The house doesn't trap people." A pause. "It replaces them." Daniel's blood ran cold. "No." The other version smiled wider. "When you thought you escaped, it came with you." Daniel's body shook. "That's not possible." The other version raised its hand and touched Daniel's face. Cold, unreal. It needed a way out. Daniel tried to move, but his body stopped responding. Frozen. "What are you doing?" The other version leaned closer. "Taking your place." Daniel screamed, but no sound came out. Then, everything went black. Silence. Then, light. Daniel opened his eyes. He was standing in his house. Everything normal. Everything quiet. He looked down. His body gone. Again. Flat. Still. A shadow. No. He tried to move. Nothing. Then, he looked up and saw himself walking, talking, living, smiling, like nothing had happened. The replacement. The thing that came out of the house. Now living his life, while he was trapped, watching, forever. Then, the reflection in the mirror moved again, smiling at him. Daniel existed, but not as a person. Not anymore. He was a shadow again. Flat, silent, trapped, but this time, not in front of the house. Inside his own home, attached to the floor, watching himself, or rather, watching the thing that had taken his place. The other. Daniel moved normally. He walked, he talked, he lived, like nothing had ever happened. No fear, no confusion, no memory, just normal. But Daniel knew, that wasn't him. That was the house, something from it, something that had escaped, and now, it was living his life. Daniel tried to move. Nothing. Tried to scream. Nothing. Only awareness remained. And time. Time moved again. Days passed. Or maybe weeks. Daniel couldn't tell. Because every day felt the same. Morning. Night. Silence. Watching. Then, something strange happened. The other Daniel stopped. Mid-step. Like something called him. He turned slowly. Toward the mirror. Daniel watched. The reflection was different. The other Daniel looked normal. But the reflection wasn't smiling. It was watching. Then, it spoke. Without moving its mouth. You're still here. Daniel froze. It could see him. The shadow. I can feel you, it continued. The other Daniel tilted his head. Confused. What? The reflection smiled slowly. Not at him. At Daniel. The real one. Daniel felt something. Fear. Real fear. The other Daniel stepped closer to the mirror. What are you talking about? The reflection leaned closer. You weren't supposed to stay. Silence. Then, the lights flickered. The room changed. For a second, the house appeared. In the reflection. Behind them. Standing. Watching. Daniel felt it again. That pull. That presence. The house wasn't gone. It never left. It came with him. The reflection spoke again. It doesn't end. The other Daniel stepped back. What doesn't end? The reflection smiled wider. The loop. Suddenly, the floor beneath Daniel shifted. He felt movement. For the first time, he moved. His shadow stretched. Pulled. Toward the mirror. No. The reflection raised its hand. And Daniel felt himself lifting. Breaking. Separating. Then, he was inside. Inside the mirror. Trapped. Watching from the other side. And now, the reflection was him. And he was the reflection. Outside. The other Daniel smiled. Turned away. Walked normally. Like nothing had happened. But in the mirror, Daniel watched. Screamed. Silently. And behind him, the house appeared again. Closer. Waiting. Because now, he wasn't just trapped. He was part of it. And the next time someone looked into that mirror, they wouldn't see themselves. They would see him. Watching. Smiling. Waiting.